All that ahead, but first let's get right to the search for common ground between Donald Trump and the Republican Party. We saw the presumptive GOP nominee going to Washington this week for a series of critical meetings with heavy hitters, including House Speaker Paul Ryan. And while he is holding back on endorsing Mr. Trump right now, Ryan says they are moving in that direction.
It is no secret that Donald Trump and I have had some disagreements. It's no secret that we've from time to time clashed on an issue or two. That happens with people. That happens with Republicans. The question is, can we put together a process that really actually helps get our party unified so that we're at full strength in the fall? And based upon the meetings that we had on Thursday, I'm encouraged.
Joining me now, someone who has endorsed Donald Trump, Nebraska Senator Deb Fischer. She also attended Mr. Trump's Capitol Hill meeting on Thursday. Senator, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Can you take us behind those closed doors last week into that meeting? What are the sticking points and the main issues that the two so far have not been able to come together on?
Well, we had a great conversation with Mr. Trump. He listened to us. We talked about a variety of issues, and he gave us his views on that. We also encouraged him to be telling the public his views on those issues and the people that he listens to, the advice he's getting. And I think when he starts doing that a little more, you're going to see people more comfortable and willing to understand that Mr. Trump is out there. He's working hard. He obviously has touched a chord across this country, and he'll be discussing the issues.
Let me ask you about a couple of those issues, and of course, one of the most important from an economic standpoint is trade. Trade has been one of the issues top of mind for Donald Trump, as has immigration, which of course is one of the fundamental issues for any economy. Where was the conversation on trade in terms of Donald Trump's stance that the U.S. is always at a disadvantage in some of these trade deals, and Paul Ryan, of course, would like to see more free trade?
Well, exactly. The people in the room with me, we are supporters of trade, but we also want to make sure that we have fair trade, that we have free trade, and Mr. Trump focuses on making that good deal. He has said that publicly, and again, I know that he will be coming out and reinforcing that the United States needs to be the beneficiary in a large way of any trade agreement. That's what people demand. They understand the importance of exports. I'm in agriculture. I'm a cattle rancher. I certainly understand the importance of exports to my business and to my state. But I also want to make sure that we have fair trade and that we're able to get good deals that help the producers but help the workers of this country too.
So the question is, will the two be able to come to an agreement on that? Paul Ryan, I understand where you're coming from, but what about where Paul Ryan is coming from?
Well, you'd have to ask Paul Ryan on that. But I think the more we have these conversations with Mr. Trump, the better understanding we're going to have. You know, you have to remember, he has not gone through a campaign before. He's getting hit with a lot of new issues. Everyone has a different issue. I can tell you when I travel Nebraska, I hear different issues in every community, and I think Mr. Trump is experiencing that. But I do know that he listens well. He listened very well at this meeting that we had. And I know that he will take advice when people offer advice to him. Yeah,
I think you make great points. And one point that I've been making pretty often is that this is not about one personality. This is not about Paul Ryan versus Donald Trump. This is about the principles of the Republican Party. So let me ask you about another principle, and that is minimum wage. Donald Trump has talked about minimum wage going up and allowing the states to deal with it. Was there common ground on minimum wage and on taxes in that room?
Well, I'm not going to talk about specifics, but I know that all of us agree that taxes are too high. We're looking for ways that we can help working Americans who are concerned about their families, trying to have economic security for their families. They want to keep the money they earn. When we look at minimum wage, once again, Nebraska is a great example of working at the state level to address that. Every state is different. There's so much diversity across this country. I don't support a federal minimum wage. I think it has to be handled at the state level. We did that here in Nebraska with I guess, a more proposal that is now law that fits our state. That's where it needs to take place.
Yeah, and that's actually the way that Donald Trump spoke about his stance on it as well, so that he doesn't think anybody
well,
could survive on $7.
Nebraska common sense.
Or $7.25,
right.
but that the states should deal with it. Okay, so the speaker said that these aides and teams are meeting next week. What do you expect to come out of these upcoming meetings where we will see Trump's aides meet with the speaker's teams as well to go through specifics on these policies?
Well, I think it really is just becoming more comfortable with each other. I hadn't met Donald Trump before. I was able to meet him last Thursday. I was able to have a long conversation with him and develop an understanding. And as I said, he listens. And I smile when I say that, because I would tell you most people would say, oh, there's no way that he listens. No, folks, he listens. And he is reaching out. And that's what's important here, that we continue the dialogue. People will become more comfortable, and they will understand that he will be our party's nominee. And if we are going to be beating that Clinton machine, we need to come together. We need to have unity, because we know what we're going to get with Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
It'll be 4 more years of bad policies that have hurt families in this country. And we cannot survive another 4 years of that.
Yeah, speak about taxes, actually. Hillary Clinton has talked about raising $1.1 trillion in taxes. Let me go back to the meeting for a moment. Can you talk to us about where the common ground was?
Well, I think there's common ground in understanding that we can't have Hillary Clinton as president. We can't survive that. You know, as you said, the policies that she is espousing are policies that are going to continue to hurt American families. We look now at the income inequality, and we hear that a lot from Democrats on the other side. But I would propose to you that this income inequality has taken place and grown under the Obama administration because of the policies that are in effect. Families are getting that. They understand that. They know they're hurting. They want to be able to provide for their families. And under the Obama administration, with Obamacare, but the continuation we're going to see under Hillary Clinton, that's going to continue. So I'm excited to be able to have Mr. Trump come forward and talk more about the policies that he has that are going to help families in this country.
Yeah.
And more importantly, that are going to keep our families safe in their communities and also keep this country safe.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at the other side right now when you've got another primary this Tuesday for the Dems in Kentucky, and Bernie Sanders seems to have locked up a number of states and continues to push Hillary Clinton even further into the left.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of focus on the Republican side. When I talk to people, I always say this is an interesting election. Yes, on the Republican side, but again, look at the Democrats. We have Bernie Sanders, who has won I don't know how many of the last primary states. He is making a big push, and he is so far left, but he also has struck a chord in that party. Hillary Clinton is not going to move to the middle in the general election if she is their nominee. Hillary Clinton is not Bill Clinton. She is not a moderate. She's not moving to the middle. She has moved really far left, and she is reflective of the far left and progressive movement in her party. And so when I hear the focus on the Republican side, I always like to say, let's look at the Democrat side. Bernie Sanders is making a run. He has a tremendous following. His supporters are active, and they are interested, and they are vocal. Yeah. And if he continues on to the Democrat convention, you're going to see a pretty spicy convention on the Democrat side.
Yeah, which is what Paul Ryan is trying to communicate to show a real difference between the Democratic side and the Republican side, led obviously by Donald Trump as the presumptive candidate. Good to see you, Senator. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. We'll keep watching.
Thank you.
Senator Deb Fischer there.